Hello everyone, welcome to All Things Game Pass. My name is Turbo Tony, and we've got a little bit of a new story here for you that involves 5 more games that are going to be leaving the Xbox Game Pass over the course of this month. There's some big names in this list. Some of them are quite meaty titles, and we're going to go through each one of them to give you a look on some of these titles and whether or not you might want to spend the next couple of weeks playing them and, you know, actually getting through them before they leave the service. The first one is Enter the Gungeon. Will be leaving. This is a very well regarded roguelike game that has a very high score here on Steam, as you can imagine. I've been told by multiple people how good this is. Never actually played it myself, so who knows, maybe this will be a perfect opportunity to actually play it before it goes off. All these titles, by the way, they're rumoured to leave the service around May 15th or on May 15th. I wasn't actually able to get the exact date. There's a few conflicting reports, but it would certainly be around that time, as the same with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the new version that released. So Enter the Gungeon, that will be leaving, like I said, quite a well-regarded roguelike game. If we move on there, we've got a big hit here. As we know, the Game Pass has a big relationship with the Final Fantasy series. But that is also was a big thing that came out a couple of years ago, that they would be putting the games up there. Well, now they're starting to come off. And the first one here is Final Fantasy X X2 HD Remaster, which is a full upscale remaster of those initial PS2 games that came out a very long time ago. Very amazing games. The first voice-acted Final Fantasy games that were ever made. And still holds up really well to this day. I have played this on the Game Pass. I will warn you, I don't know whether or not it's just my rig, but the launcher seems to have some issues connecting to the Xbox, the Xbox Live experience. So that it didn't seem to have the best time linking those two things. And whenever I would boot it, the launcher would constantly have issues to the point I had to find multiple workarounds. So, and like I said, I very much doubt you'd have the amount of time to get through all of Final Fantasy X2, because that game is just so huge in comparison. There's a lot of side stuff in it, but you probably would have time to get through Final Fantasy X. Again, there's a lot of side stuff that goes through that game as well that could take hundreds of hours, but you can get through the story, and it is a fantastic story, and it does look really good with the HD graphics and the remaster that went along those lines. The next game on the list is Steep from Ubisoft. This is a winter extreme sports video game. A little bit more of a simulation style of like the SSX games, where you can use snowboarding, you can do skiing, you can do wing gliding, lots of random sports, well, not random, but lots of sports there that you can put into that environment. And I have played this one. It is quite a good game for people that enjoy these kind of winter sports games, like exploring areas, trying to get the highest trick scores, racing. It's got a good way of keeping all the different sports, keep the game fresh. So you've always got something new to do. You're not always just snowboarding. You're not always just on the skis. The game switches up constantly. There isn't much of a storyline, but that's fine. That's not really the kind of game really that you want there for. But Steep is a really good game, and it is constantly on sale on the Ubisoft store. So if this is something that you really like, you might take this next couple of weeks to test the game out, and then you can look to maybe purchase it at a cheap price. I wouldn't purchase it at like anything higher than like €20 or pounds, whatever your currency equivalent is, because I've seen this go on sale for a silly amount. So yeah, just wait a little while, or see what you can get from there. The next is the Catch, Carp and Course Fishing. This is a fishing game that is on the Xbox Game Pass. The reason, by the way, that I'm showing you the Steam things, by the way, is that the Steam is a pretty good indicator of how good a game is. I do have the Xbox Game Pass here, the app. But the reviews on there I don't feel are as accurate as the actual Steam counterparts. So even though this is all things Game Pass, I know you're going to be calling me out. Oh, you should do it on it. Now, this is the reason why I do it on there. It does make sense. I just feel it gives more information. So the catch, carp, and coarse fishing. Like I said, this is a simulation fishing game. I did try this one as well. I wasn't his biggest fan, but I can understand why some people would enjoy it. The only thing I would say, though, is that it does have a mixed rating here on Steam. The graphics aren't particularly fantastic, and I did find some of the systems to be a little bit like it's kind of stuck in middle land. They're trying to make it accessible, but then it's also not deep enough, in my opinion, to be like a full-on simulation. So it's caught in that middle ground a little bit, where they're kind of trying to please both crowds, and I feel they might not do either. And like I said, the game is a little bit jank, so take that into mind. If you like fishing, maybe give it a try, but it didn't appeal to me, and I'm someone that does I do enjoy fishing in games. I don't know why, I just do, but yeah, it's something to have a look at if that's what you're into. And the last one is The Wild at Heart. This was a big like indie title that came out last year. It's got, from all I've seen, I haven't actually played this one, but from what I've seen, it's got a really unique art style. I've had friends who have played it who said it's really, really good. And if you're into these sort of indie experiences, puzzle, story, very indie, a very unique art style that goes into it, then this might be up your alley. And as far as I know as well, this one doesn't take particularly too long. You can, in the comments, feel free to correct me if that's the case. Okay, so those are the 5 games that are leaving the service. The news just came out a while ago. If you're looking for news and everything on the Game Pass, I would recommend True Achievements to be quite a good one to do it. The problem with the Game Pass in general is that there can be a lot of conflicting reports about specific dates and stuff like that, and even Xbox's own feed can be a little bit dodgy on that front. But if you're an achievement hound, which I can be on occasion, then this is the perfect place to go and look at all these games and see how quickly you can maybe get some of these achievements out before they do leave the service at the middle of the month. Okay, so that's the latest news here on the Game Pass. If you did enjoy it and found this interesting and insightful, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The channel is very new, and I'm going to be looking to be covering Game Pass content going forward. And tomorrow I should be releasing a Dungeons of Naheulbeuk review, which is a game that recently came out on the Game Pass very recently. So thanks very much for listening. And I'll catch you all next time on the next news update on all things Game Pass. Thanks a lot, guys.